Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today's March 18th, 2019, and now the news at noon.
From the Journal, a La Plata County man shot and killed his girlfriend, then shot himself at a home east of Oxford on Sunday, according to the La Plata County coroner. Edward Ogden, age 57, shot Gloria Cassius, age 63, multiple times around 4:30 a.m. Sunday, then shot himself, Coroner Jan Smith said. The Durango Police Department and the La Plata County Sheriff's Office deployed SWAT teams to assist the Southern Ute Police Department after gunshots were reported inside the residence. Law enforcement made attempts to contact people inside the home and used a tactical robot to search the residence before entering. A handgun was found at the scene. Sheriff's Office spokesman Chris Burke said the Sheriff's Office suspects domestic violence may have been the motive behind the killing. The Sheriff's Office talked with Ogden and Cassius the evening before, Burke said. Ogden told deputies Cassius' son-in-law assaulted him, but after an investigation, the Sheriff's Office did not have enough evidence to charge anyone with a crime, Burke said. Ogden told deputies he would stay the night in Mancos and left in that direction after speaking with them, Burke said.
From the Durango Herald, James Anderson, AP File Photo. Colorado on Friday joined a compact of states that have pledged to pool their presidential electoral votes for the winner of the national popular vote. Democratic Governor Jared Polis signed into law a bill under which Colorado joins 11 other states and the District of Columbia in what's called the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. The pact would take effect after states with a collective 270 electoral votes, the number needed to win the presidency, agree to join. With Colorado's 9 electoral votes, compact members have 181. Currently, the state's electoral votes are cast for whoever wins the popular vote within Colorado. Similar legislation is pending in New Mexico with 5 electors and Delaware with 3. Opponents say the initiative subverts an electoral college that ensures that smaller states aren't trampled when it comes to choosing a president. 2 Colorado Republicans, Monument Mayor Don Wilson and Mesa County Commissioner Rose Puglisi, have pledged to seek a 2020 state ballot measure that would undo the law. Other compact members are Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington. The National Popular Vote campaign was launched after Democrat Al Gore won the popular vote but lost the 2000 election to Republican George W. Bush when electoral votes were tallied. Colorado Democrats won control of the state legislature in November and quickly introduced their bill this year after Donald Trump's 2016 presidential victory over Democrat Hillary Clinton, who won 3 million more votes nationally than Trump, allegedly. Currently, voters choose presidential electors from the political parties. The Electoral College has 538 electors, corresponding to the number of seats held by states in the U.S. Senate and House, plus 3 votes for the District of Columbia. Electors from states that have joined the compact would pool their votes for the national popular vote winner, whether or not that candidate won in those states. Colorado Republicans argue the compact would compel candidates to bypass smaller, rural, often Republican-leaning states during their campaigns. Democrats argued it would force presidential candidates to fight for votes in more states, including solidly red states like Texas and solidly blue states like California.
According to the Cortez Journal, electrical power has been restored to the interim water treatment plant at the Bonita Peak Superfund site in Gladstone after the facility lost power Thursday evening because of snowfall. Richard Mylott, a public affairs specialist with Region 8 of the Environmental Protection Office, said in a news release crews were able to reach the plant Saturday morning to restore power and normal operations to the wastewater treatment plant. The amount of additional metals entering the Animas River when the plant was down was similar to the metal load from mine wastewater before treatment of the Gold King mine discharge started in 2015 with construction of the water treatment plant. The EPA expects no impacts to downstream drinking water or agricultural waters users associated with the short-term shutdown of the plant. The agency expects impacts will be localized and largely limited to aquatic life in the Animas River Canyon south of Silverton. Water samples were taken along the Animas River near Silverton, and results are expected early next week. When the water treatment plant is operational, it typically removes about 500 to 600 pounds of metals a day during March. Data for metals loading in winter months are unavailable.
From the Journal, photo Sean Dolan. There's no stereotype of an industrial hemp farmer. From academics to marijuana producers, urban farm activists to generational ranchers, it seems there's a place for everyone in the burgeoning industry. That was apparent as more than 100 people attended a pair of presentations and panel discussions on Saturday at the summit room of the Four States Agricultural Expo, which was held in Cortez. In a telling moment, Abdel Barada of Mesa Verde Ag Solutions asked members of the crowd to raise their hands if they grew hemp in 2018. A few hands went up. Then Barada asked who plans to grow in 2019. More than a dozen hands shot up across the room. Barada said hemp has been around for thousands of years and there are hundreds of uses. The outer stalks can be fashioned into rope, textiles, building materials, paper, and industrial products. Seeds can be converted into food, oils, solvents, and cosmetics. Leaves and flowers have medical and antimicrobial properties. Growing hemp in Colorado has been legal since 2014, but just last year the U.S. Farm Bill legalized industrial hemp in all 50 states. That was welcome news for Kat Bagley, co-founder of the Venus Moon Ranch in Hesperus, which is starting a Four Corners hemp co-op. I know I'm like young and I'm female and I'm from New York City and I'm here in Southwest Colorado and I'm able to hold conversations and shake hands with these old school cowboys, and I'm just grateful they're able to see I'm here for the right reasons and I care about them, Bagley said. She's doing more than just shake hands. She's consulting with farmers and helping them add hemp to their land. Bagley said hemp is an incredible bioremediator that can pull heavy metals and radioactive materials out of the soil. She said hemp helps restore soil and has ecological and economic implications worldwide. It's opening up more markets for small farmers, for traditional farmers to diversify their crop, to fix their land if their goal is to go back to organic eventually, Bagley said. You can do this with hemp. During a panel discussion, there were plenty of technical and legal questions. A vegetable farmer asked how he could start growing hemp, and audience members asked whether commercial nurseries can sell starts or seeds. One asked whether there's a market for hemp pollen. Panelist Brendan Findlay, who has been growing hemp for 2 years, said there's not only a market for pollen, but there's a market for hemp roots in Europe. He said the future is bright for hemp, and he referenced the possibility of converting hemp into supercapacitor batteries. Some members of the audience expressed concern about legal gray areas. In Colorado, hemp is defined as a cannabis plant with not more than 0.3% THC, the psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. Farmers face penalties if their crop tests over the limit or is transported without the proper documentation. Panelist and hemp farmer Scott Perez urged farmers to, quote, get political and work with local officials, county commissioners, legislatures, and the Colorado Department of Agriculture to avoid, quote, getting busted. In an interview after the panel discussion, Montezuma County Commissioner Jim Candelaria, who grows hemp with his wife Jan, said he's had several conversations with Sheriff Steve Nowlin and a local Colorado Bureau of Investigations agent to make sure law enforcement officers are trained properly. He said education is important as the hemp industry grows. Candelaria said hemp creates income and employment for farmers and value-added services, which has broad implications for Montezuma County and the surrounding counties. Some of those value-added services are popping up in Southwest Colorado. Patrick Labruzzo, director of Ayani Botanicals, worked in the cannabis industry for the past decade. In about a month, he said he will be ready to accept biomass at the first hemp processing facility with a permit from Montezuma County. He said he saw a need for a local processor in the Four Corners area as more and more farmers prepare to plant their first hemp crop. Ayani Botanicals is starting small, but will be ready to expand with demand, Labruzzo said. For certain, Colorado leads the way in hemp, but Barada, who has studied hemp for the past 4 years at Colorado State University, said a lot of genetic material was lost when the U.S. declared hemp illegal in 1970. Hemp farmers are basically starting over, and there are plenty of opportunities.
From the Cortez Journal, a proposal to strip gray wolves of their remaining federal protections could curtail their rapid expansion across vast swaths of the U.S. West and Great Lakes. Yet, the predators already are proving to be resilient in states where hunting and trapping occur. Thursday's Interior Department proposal to remove threatened and endangered species protections for wolves would end a decades-long restoration effort that saw a remarkable turnaround for an animal once nearly exterminated across the lower 48. Now, more than 6,000 gray wolves live in portions of 9 states. Authority over wolves would revert to state wildlife agencies, with no obligation to maintain current numbers. Critics say that amounts to a death sentence for thousands of the animals, shrinking well-established populations and preventing wanderers from carving out new territory. The track record suggests otherwise in parts of the northern Rockies, where wolf numbers have not noticeably flagged in the face of aggressive hunting and trapping. When legal wolf harvests began in Montana and Idaho in 2009, wildlife advocates and some scientists argued their numbers would plummet. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
The National Weather Map shows us overall a quieter week weather-wise is on tap for much of the nation. Only light precipitation is forecast for the beginning of the week, with the exception of southern Florida. Precipitation is expected to increase across the southern Rockies, the Plains, and the West Coast by mid to late week. Meanwhile, historic flooding continues across the Plains and Midwest this week, with many rivers, quote, at major flood stage. Many roads are closed due to the flooding in the region, and they're closed for good reason. 50% of all flood deaths are vehicle related. As they say, turn around, don't drown. Regionally, some isolated to very scattered showers are possible this afternoon. Along the Continental Divide, amounts will be light. A few more showers are possible on Tuesday as a weak disturbance moves overhead. Coverage will increase from Monday, but still will be quite isolated. Wednesday evening onwards, the chances for widespread rainfall and mountain snowfall increase, with unsettled weather continuing into the weekend as a few systems move through our area. Our local 5-day forecast or outlook shows today mostly sunny with a high near 50 degrees. East-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest in the afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 33 degrees as the winds lessen. Then Tuesday, again mostly sunny with a high near 53. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 30. Then look to Wednesday for our next round of moisture again, although we are already around 159% of median average snowpack and in D0 level drought, the lowest and probably on the way out for this year. We are still happy for the water filling reservoirs and ponds alike. So our Wednesday rain sits now at a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, mostly cloudy with a high near 51. Wednesday night, rain showers likely before 5 a.m., turning from rain and snow showers likely at 70% chance, cloudy with a low only around 36 degrees. Then Thursday, this pattern continues with 70% chance for rain and snow showers, likely becoming all rain after 11 in the morning. Cloudy with a high near 43 degrees. Thursday night, a chance of rain showers before 8 p.m., then turning to snow showers possible, mostly cloudy with a low around 31. And Friday, it should taper off with a slight chance of snow showers before 2 p.m., and then a slight chance of rain showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 43. Friday night, mostly cloudy and a low 30. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 46 degrees. And then again on Saturday night, a chance of rain and snow showers may come into our forecast, mostly cloudy with a low around 31. And we'll have more details on the weekend weather as we get closer. And now, back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, memory and thinking skills naturally slow with age, but now scientists are peeking inside living brains to tell if depression might worsen that decline and finding some worrisome clues. Depression has long been linked to certain cognitive problems, and depression late in life even may be a risk factor for the development of Alzheimer's. Yet, how depression might harm cognition isn't clear. One possibility, brain cells communicate by firing messages across connections called synapses. Generally, good cognition is linked to more and stronger synapses. With cognitive impairment, those junctions gradually shrink and die off, but until recently, scientists could count synapses only in brain tissue collected after death. Yale University scientists used a new technique to scan the brains of living people and discovered that patients with depression had a lower density of synapses than healthy people the same age. The lower density, the lower the density, the more severe the depression symptoms, particularly problems with attention and loss of interest in previously pleasurable activities. Yale neuroscientist Irina Esterlis said recently at a meeting of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, she wasn't studying just seniors, but a range of ages, including people too young for any cognitive changes to be obvious outside of a brain scan, on the theory that early damage can build up. Her studies so far are small. To prove if depression really worsens that decline would require tracking synaptic density in larger numbers of people as they get older to see if and how it fluctuates over time in those with and without depression, cautioned Javier Evans, a staff scientist at the National Institute on Mental Health. Asterlis is planning a larger study to do that. It's delicate research. Volunteers are injected with a radioactive substance that binds to a protein in the vesicles or storage bins used by synapses. Then, during a PET scan, areas with synapses light up, allowing researchers to see how many are in different regions of the brain. Esterlis said there are no medications that specifically target the underlying synapse damage, but other brain experts said the preliminary findings are a reminder of how important it is to treat depression promptly so people don't spend years suffering.
Reported in the Journal, photo Jim Mimiaga. The Ute Mountain Ute Tribe broke ground last Wednesday on a $2 million solar project that will be used to lower electricity bills for tribal residents in Toyac. An 8-acre hayfield west of the Ute Mountain Casino will be transformed into a 1-megawatt solar array with 3,500 panels facing skyward. Construction is expected to take 6 to 8 weeks, and after testing, the switch will be flipped on in June or July of 2019. This solar project pays respect to Mother Earth, and we are thankful for that, said Tribal Chairman Harold Cuthair after remarks in the Ute language. Cultural specialist Terry Knight offered a blessing of the site in the Ute language as dozens of tribal officials, council members, and solar project workers gathered during a snow squall. The project was funded by a $973,000 grant from the Department of Energy and a $1 million match from the tribe. It will be the largest solar array in Montezuma County. The tribe partnered with Grid Alternatives, an organization that works to provide renewable energy to low-income communities. Quote, "We believe the transition from fossil fuels to clean energy should include everyone," said Brittany Heller, workforce organizer for Grid Alternatives. Tribal members must sign up to receive solar discounts on their electric bill by April 30th. Residents will bring their Empire Electric Association account information to the tribe's planning department or environmental office, and reduced bills will start to show up in July or August. An opportunity to sign up for discounts will happen every year. Government offices will also see electric bill savings from the project. The project will create 13 temporary jobs and offer free training in the solar industry. Volunteer days allow tribal members to help build the project and learn skills.
According to the Durango Herald, the U.S. has counted more measles cases in the first 2 months of this year than in all of 2017, and part of the rising threat is misinformation that makes some parents balk at the crucial vaccine, federal health officials told Congress Wednesday. Yet the vaccine is hugely effective and very safe, so the rise of measles cases is really unacceptable, said Dr. Anthony Fauci, infectious disease chief at the National Institute of Health. The disease was declared eliminated in the U.S. in 2000, which means it was not being spread domestically. But cases have been rising in recent years, and 2019 is shaping up to be a bad one. Republican and Democratic lawmakers at the House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee hearing bemoaned what's called vaccine hesitancy, meaning when people refuse or delay vaccinations. In Washington state, lawmakers are debating ending that personal or philosophical exemption, as are several other states. California ended a similar exemption in 2015 after a measles outbreak at Disneyland sickened 147 people and spread across the U.S. and into Canada.
From the Durango Herald, file photo. A parcel of land owned by local vintners Guy and Ruth Drew is currently under foreclosure, according to a recent legal notice that was submitted to the Journal. The property in question is situated along County Road G, where the Drews operate Guy Drew Vineyards. The legal notice listed the reason for the foreclosure as failure to pay principal and interest when due, together with all other payments provided for in the evidence of debt secured by the deed of trust and other violations thereof. If debts are not repaid by May 1st, the property will be put up for public auction, according to the notice. The original beneficiary is listed as the First National Bank of Durango, with an original deed of trust date for January 10th, 2007, and the deed was later modified on April 24th of that year. According to the notice, the original principal balance of the debt was $75,000, though that balance rose after modifications to $100,000. As of the notice's posting date of March 4th, the principal balance stood at $96,998.58. The specific address or acreage of the parcel is not specified in the notice, and Guy Drew declined to talk with two Journal reporters who called for comment and information about the property. The Drews Vineyard is along County Road G, west of the Cortez Municipal Airport.
From the Durango Herald, the flu vaccine is doing a relatively good job this season, protecting about half the people who got it, U.S. health officials said Thursday. Preliminary figures suggest the vaccine is 47% effective in preventing flu illness severe enough to send someone to the doctor's office. Health officials are generally pleased if a flu vaccine works in 40 to 60% of people. Somewhere between 10,000 and 16,000 people have died from flu and its complications so far this season, according to the new estimates released Thursday. Last winter was dominated by a nasty kind of flu, and the vaccine's weakness against it was one reason it was the deadliest flu season in at least 4 decades. An estimated 80,000 Americans died of flu and its complications. This winter, in most parts of the country, most illnesses are being caused by a somewhat milder virus that vaccines tend to perform better against. The early estimates on the vaccine's potency offer only a fuzzy picture. For example, there weren't enough sick patients of different ages to produce a reliable estimate of how it did in the elderly, who are at greater risk from flu and its complications. Some other types of vaccines, like the one against measles, mumps, and rubella, are far more effective in preventing people from getting sick than the flu vaccine. But experts say flu is a quick-changing and elusive target.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings, March 22nd through the 24th from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day, Friends of Cedar Mesa are offering a training course named Visit with Respect Ambassador Training for new and current volunteers for the Bears Ears. For tickets or more details out of Bluff, Utah, visit them online at friendsofcedarmesa.org. March 23rd, join MORP, that's Montezuma Orchard Restoration Project, in learning the valuable skill of grafting and take home 4 heritage apple trees grafted by you at one of Montezuma Orchard Restoration's project's upcoming events. A minimum of 10 participants are required and a maximum of 20 are allowed, so please pre-register early to assure your place in the workshop. Although you can register at the event, first come, first serve. Let us know what workshops you plan to attend by emailing MORP at morp@montezumaorchard.org. You can also pre-register and prepay at the donate button or MORP's website. At MORP's website, just write a note in the comment line or send them an email as to which workshop you paid for. Cost is $35 for current members, $45 for non-members, and you may become a member at the same time as paying for class. Again, go online to montezumaorchard.org. And this Wednesday, March 20th, just before official spring, it's the Mexican Lager release party at Ska Brewing in Durango. From 5 to 7 p.m., they'll be hosting the party with limited parking, so they suggest you ride your bike. Live, I don't think from Dove Creek. Live music will be provided by the Lawn Chair Kings. The new Mexican Lager, a play on words that the Mexican is working with timber versus the lager type of beer, can be purchased through Frosty's Liquor in Dove Creek and possibly also at the Sinclair and Superette, as now grocery stores are able to sell all types of beer as well. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area, and of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.